sata. Yogyata vichare kinchunai pai tomara karuna sara. Karuna na hoile kandia kandia. Rananara kibo ara. Gurudev kripa bindu dia koro edase chanapekshayati hina. Sayatina Sakala Sahane Balajiya Koro Nijamane Spriyahina Nijamane Spriyahina Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Jaya Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Jaya Guru Dev Shri Gurudev Ki. O Gurudev, give me a drop of mercy and make this servant more humble than a blade of grass. Give me the strength to tolerate everything and free me from my desire for recognition. Give me the power, O Master, to honor all living entities according to their due. Then I shall chant the holy names of Sri Hari blissfully, and my offenses will be vanquished. When will this person receive such mercy and thus be successful, O Master? I am devoid of strength and intelligence and am extremely fallen. Kindly take my soul and make me your own. If I consider my qualification, I find nothing of value. Your mercy is the essence of my existence. If you are not merciful, then bitterly weeping, I will no longer maintain my life.
Gorangero duti pado Jardano sampado Gorangero duti pado Jardano Gorangero duti pado Giardano Sampado Gorangero Serjane pakati rasa sa Gaurangero madulila jar karne praveshila Gaurangero madulila jar Hridoyo nirmalo belotar Hridoyo nirmalo belotar Je Gaurange namaloi tar hoy premodoi je Gaurange namaloi tare mui jai bolihari o name Gaurango gunete jure nityo lila tarespure Gaurango gunete jure Se jayo Bhakti Adhikari Se Jaya That person for whom the two lotus feet of Sri Gauranga are his wealth and property knows the essence of Bhakti Ras. That person for whom the sweet pastimes of Gauranga have entered the ears is pure in heart. Within one who takes Gauranga's holy names, Prem arises. I heartily glorify such a person. To one whose eyes stream tears in appreciation of Gauranga's transcendental qualities, the divine couple's eternal pastimes become manifest. Such a person is qualified for bhakti. Gaurangero sangigane nitya sitha korimane Gaurangero sangigane Se jai Brajendro Sutopa Se jai Brajendro Shri Goda Mandala Bhumi Je Bhajane Chintamani Tara hoy braja bhume vas Ti goda mandala bhumi Je bhajane chintamani Tara hoy braja bhume vas One who reveres Gauranga personal associates as eternally perfected souls goes to the transcendental abode of Ranjendra Sutta, the son of the king of Raj. One who knows the land of Sri Gauda Mandala to the spiritual touchstone, to be spiritual touchstone, achieves residence in the life of Raj. Amar Gaur Prema Rasana Vese Tarange Je Badube Gora prema rasarnavi se tarangi je badube. Seradama torango. Grihe baba neke take hagorango bole dake. Grihe baba neke take hagorango bole dake. Narotamo mage tarasango mage. Narotamo mage sarasango. Amasango charan corona. Sango charan corona. Oh hey nitai gor hari sango charan corona. Jaya nitai gorango bolo nitai gorango nitai gorango bolo nitai gorango. Nitai gora haribo 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 nitai gor haribo. One who dies into the waves of the ocean of Gaur Prem becomes a confidential associate of Shishirada and Madhav. Whether a person lives in his home as a householder or in the forest as a renunciant. If he exclaims, Ha Goranga, Narottam Das begs for his association. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai.
Okay. Maybe 122. Hari Hari Kave Mora Hoibe Sudina 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 Pajiboshi. Sorry, that's not the melody I was planning to do. What's the typical Gurudev melody, the Vrindavan one? She is going with it. Do you want to sing it or something? Hari Hari Kave Mora Hoibe Sudina Hari Hari Kave Mora Hoibe Sudina Shri Radha Krishna Hoya Prema Dina Bhajivo Shri Radha Krishna Hoya Verena Suyanche Mishaya Gabo Sumadhatana Suyanche Mishaya Gabo Sumadhatana Anande Karibo Dua Rupa Gunagana Anande Karibo Dua Radhika Govinda Boli Kandibo Chai Sware Radhika Govinda Boli Kandibo Chai Sware Vijay Sakalanga Nayanera Nire Vijay Sakalanga Nayanera Eba Karuna Koro Rupa Sanatana Evara Karuna Koro Rupa Sanatana Raghunatha Dasamura Shri Jiva Jivana Raghunatha Dasamura Shri Jiva Jivana Eva Karuna Koro Lalita Vishaka Evara Karuna Koro Lalita Vishaka Sakyabha Shridham Subha Adisaka Sakyabha Shridham Subha Adisaka Save Milikara Daya Puruk Mora Save Vartana Karaye Sara Narottama Dasa Vartana Karaye Sara Narottama Dasa Hari Hari Kave Mora Oi Vesudina 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 Vajiva Shri Radha Krishna Hoya Prema Dina Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Radhe O Hari, when will that auspicious day be mine when I will serve Sri Sri Radha Krishna, being controlled by prema? Accompanied by musical instruments, I will sing sweet melodies. In great bliss, I shall perform songs that glorify the form and qualities of the divine couple. While singing Radhika Govinda, I will weep loudly, and my entire body will become soaked by the tears from my eyes. O Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami, O Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, O Sri Jiva Goswami, my life and soul, be merciful to me now. O Lalita, O Vishaka, O Sridham, Subal, and other friends in Sakyabhav, be merciful to me now. All of you together, please be merciful and let my desires be fulfilled. Narottam Das constantly prays in this way. Jai Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki. Maha Mantra.
He's teaching him how to do kirtan. Give me one. Oh. Rama Rama. Yeah, sure. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Bolo Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Prem se Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Oh Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Oh Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda 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 Oh Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Bolo Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Krishna. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Krishna. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Sri Krishna. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gora, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gora, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gora, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Yeah, the same. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. 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 Jai Jai Radha Raman Bihari Radha Raman Bihari Radhe. Jai Jai Radha Raman Bihari Radha Raman Bihari Radhe. Jai Jai Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe Jayo Radhe. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Shri Tagore Premanande Hari 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 Bo.
Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalai Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah. Yang Pravajantam Tamapeta Krishna Dvaipayano Viraha Kataruha Juhava Putriti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedos Tang Sarva Hridayam Muni Manatosmi Bhaktya Vinay Aparada Lakshay Chiptascha Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamayitam Sharanam Prapadyam Vrinde namaste charanarvindam Tavaivasmi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantikam Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Pada Kima Paravishishtam Pushtimaryadayorme Yadi Vadati Chakinshit Smeraha Soditashir Trijavadamani Panktya Mukti Shoktya Tadakyam Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekhar Smeraha Samurali Manohara Radhika Rasikama Kripanidhi Swapriya Charaki Kari Karo Prananata Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimagabjara Salola Satapada Radhika Paratale Kritastiti Tambajami Rasikendra Shekhar Sambadaya Dashane Trinam Bibo Vartaye Brajamahendra Nandana Astu Mohantavati Vallama Janma Janmani Madheswari. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimad Shilbhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Asto to the Sat Shri Srimad Shilbhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grand spiritual masters, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates and all the assembled devotees, and the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus or my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. And welcome to all guests. So the camera is over here, and all the people are over there. So can we move the camera a bit that way? Thanks. So all the guests today are old devotees. So on one hand, I don't want to give anything too introductory, but at the same time, because the nature, until we reach the very high state, just prior to prema, just higher to divine love, which is called Bhava Bhakti, we do have a nature to forget and then get all entwined in Krishna's deluding potency. So we just want to go over a few simple facts to remember and some definitions that you may not have been aware of. In the course of speaking about Krishna, about the philosophy, about pastimes, sometimes words come out that are very much used words, but which may not be, the meaning may not be known to us. Okay, so the first thing to know is that I'm not this body, but rather I have a spiritual body which is inherent, there's a word, to my constitution. Or, in other words, and this also gives us vocabulary when speaking to others. Or in other words, it is my constitutional form. So inherent means a thing can't be that thing without certain qualities. Those qualities are inherent to that thing. So inherent to the constitution of the soul, constitution means that which something is made of. Our constitution is what we're made of, without which we would not exist. So our constitutional form is made of three things: eternity, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomable bliss. We have other qualities too, like, for example, we're beyond matter. We're beyond time and space. We are by nature not just that which is known, but the knower. We're by nature the knower. That means that we're not a blank sheet of just some vague consciousness, but we have a spiritual form which is absolutely faultless. Everything is in the right place. Like sometimes I give the example of when we were in Hollywood and we used to go to this shelter of poor people. So there was one lady there who had to live in the shelter because she had no other place that would accept her, because everything was in the wrong place. One eye, believe it or not, one eye here, one eye there, a nose there, a mouth there. So these material bodies are kind of like that. Nothing is absolutely, ultimately, fully beautiful, because nothing is in the perfect place. But our spiritual body, being faultless, everything is perfectly arranged. And each of us has a unique nature. Our spiritual body does, different from any other living being. Even in the spiritual world, where there are basically 5 relationships with Krishna, that is, one can have a relationship with him as a friend, as a servant, as a beloved, or as a parent, or in a neutral way, to just appreciate his greatness. But even there, even though it's only divided into 5 groups, everyone in every group has a unique form, a unique name, a unique, what else is there? Service, a unique quality that's only for that person. It's only due to ignorance that the deluding potency named Maya makes us forget this. We have never experienced our spiritual form, and yet there are words used like we forgot who we are. Now we're in a process to remember who we are. Actually, there's no question of forgetting something that I've never experienced, but some English word has to be used. So, since the beginning of time, we have turned away from Krishna when the choice was to be made. And so, just like, what are those seeds? Mustard seeds are thrown onto the sharp edge, sharp blade of a knife, and some pop over on this side, right? Some pop over on that side. So similarly, in the very beginning of time, or before then, we had the choice to turn to Krishna or to turn away from him. And so having turned away from him, we were grabbed by the deluding potency and thrown into various species of life to try unsuccessfully to enjoy. So when I'm having experiences during the day, and sometimes something hits me in a certain way, and I become in anxiety, or I become resentful, or confused, if I can remember these intrinsic truths of who I am, then I wouldn't be disturbed. So as we heard the other day, in the sound file from one of our God brothers, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, he was quoting Jaiva Dharma and many other books, that the relationship that we have with Krishna was there since we were created, since before the beginning of time, because it's our eternal status. And it never changes at any time. At the same time, we need the mercy of a Vaishnava or Sri Guru to remind us of that, and as well as to cultivate that so that we can experience it. We're not experiencing ourselves now. We're just experiencing illusion. Isn't that crazy? So, it's just like a gardener, a very expert gardener, can look at the seed of a plant and tell what kind of plant it is, and then know what kind of, how much and what time of the day, sun to give it, how much water to give it. Sometimes we see the devotees are overwatering something or underwatering something, and then the plant dies. So the expert gardener not only knows what plant is going to come out of that seed, but he knows how to nurture that so that the whole plant or tree comes out in perfection. But that association, it's described by Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, that the seeds are already there eternally. Well, then it becomes not a seed, then it becomes a plant. But since the beginning of time, the seed is there. But if you put the seed in an almira, what's going to happen? Nothing. So it needs to come out of the almira and planted in soil and then nourished. So when we hear or read that Sri Guru plants the seed or gives the devotee the seed to plant of his eternal relationship with Krishna, he's not really giving a seed. This, the word seed is there's two words that have the same sound but different meanings. What's that called? Homonym. So seed and seed. Neither seed is really a seed. What does that mean? So one seed, the first seed, is given by Krishna at the time of creation, that your love for me is as in this relationship, and these are the specifics of that relationship. Then, at some point, but he's oblivious to that. It's in his nature, but he's oblivious to it. So at some point, he meets Sri Guru, and Sri Guru gives him the seed of the creeper of bhakti. There's a difference between the seed of who we are, what service we have a taste for inherently, and the seed of the devotional creeper. Seed of the devotional creeper includes, in the beginning, initial faith, then associating with pure devotees, then following the instructions of devotees, and then gradually becoming free from my unwanted habits and thoughts, and then becoming steady, and then developing taste, and then developing spontaneous attachment, and then developing spiritual sentiments, and then coming to love. So do you see the difference? One is a potency. The potency means that ultimate, not ultimate, it's already there, constitutional position. The constitutional position is there, existing in perfection, but at this time it's dormant as a seed, means as a potency. So then when I meet Sri Guru the Vaishnavas, then they give me the beginning of the tendency to serve. So that seed means faith in Krishna, the scriptures, and the Vaishnavas, or the beginning of the tendency to serve Krishna. And so what was just explained shows that there are two time factors. Yes?
Can you speak about the relationship of those two plants that are growing from the seeds?
There's only one plant from each seed.
Can you speak about how they're related to one another? Are they related to one another?
There's only one plant from each seed. I don't understand.
Meaning, it sounds like the seed that Srila Gurudev gives, it sounds like it nourishes that seed in some way.
Very well said. Because the seed is there, but in the Almira, the seed doesn't grow. So if it's taken out of the Almira and put in the soil, and then given water, the appropriate amount of water and sun, then it will grow. So when it's stated that Sri Guru gives the seed, it means he creates the atmosphere by which that seed can grow. He gives the proper soil, the proper air, and he is imbued with, filled with, saturated with Swarup, Krishna's Swarup Shakti. That means Krishna's intrinsic spiritual energy. whatever Sri Guru does, and I'm not saying I'm that because I'm not, whatever Sri Guru does is the spiritual Swarup Shakti, or the intrinsic spiritual power of Krishna. If he speaks, then Swarup Shakti is coming from his being. If he looks, if he glances, that is Swarup Shakti. If he gives an order, go and sweep the stairs, that is Swarup Shakti, everything that he does. If he well wishes to you, that is Swarup Shakti. So gradually, that's Swarup Shakti, the smallest fraction of which is Shraddha, or initial faith. In Prabhupada's words, he said, what is this Krishna consciousness movement? Let me come in and sit down and see what it is. And then mature Shraddha, or mature faith, Shraddha also means honor, but in terms of meaning faith, the mature status of faith is the is the conviction that if I simply carry out the duties of Krishna consciousness, then all other duties are done. I have no other obligation. Anything of that, anyone that I owe anything to, that gets done. Like I owe the demigods for the rain, and the heat, and the drought. And I owe my parents. But if I serve Krishna, then all other duties are fulfilled. I need not feel guilt or anything like that. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. Can I borrow the microphone?
Yes, you can. You're asking, I think, what is the relationship between the seed that Krishna plants and the seed that the Guru plants?
Yeah, and what I'm understanding is that the seed that Guru plants, it directly nourishes the seed that Krishna plants, because it provides that sunlight, soil, etc.
Yes.
Okay, then yeah.
Okay. All right. So the seed that the Guru plants, or Guru gives the devotee who acts as a gardener and plants that seed. The Guru, the seed that he gives can never be different from the seed that Krishna plants. And I just want to give a commercial here, just for a moment. If I'm in a class or a course in college or high school, and if I come in through half the course, or if I come in through half the class, I'm not going to fully get it as much as those who are here from the beginning. So I urge you to see if you can somehow or another manipulate the material energy to help you get here at the beginning. Because then in the middle, I'm saying something that was dependent on something that I said at the beginning. Okay, where was I? Right, so that whatever was in seed form can never be changed, as much as a plant of a certain plant, that seed can never grow into a different kind of tree. Our Param Gurudev Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj. Now, you're going to be able to picture this in just a couple of minutes, because Haridas Prabhu is coming back. So, yeah. So let's say there are seeds on the bank of the Ganges. Now you can see at the bottom there's like bright purple things and bright orange things. So those are seeds. Whatever the seed is, the plant will be just that. A mango seed will be a mango tree. All the seeds are getting the same water, the same air, the same sunshine, but everything happens according to the seed. So whereas the guru or Vaishnava or good association, advanced association, can nourish the original seed that Krishna planted, they can never change it. So, but he can make that manifest. So now we're going to, speaking of manifest, we're going to go into definitions, like the definition of a dormant. What does it mean when we hear or read that our relationship is dormant or our swarup is dormant? It does not mean that it's sleeping. It doesn't mean that inside this body there's a sleeping man or a sleeping woman, and he just has to wake up. Dormant, although it means sleeping in other contexts, in this context, it means not yet manifest, or it means in potency. It's good to know these definitions so that we can speak clearly. It's not yet experienced. Then, what does the word, because the word is used very often in discussing the soul, then the next definition is, what is the meaning of the word swarup? Swa means own, and rup means form. This material body is not our form. It's just a covering, like you have clay covering something. Then you think the clay is the form. So the swarup is the constitutional form, our constitutional form, or what we, the soul, are actually made of. We're made of a specific type of service, a specific hair style, facial features, everything, the original form of the soul, which is also the perfectional form of the soul. Right now, we're also soul, but we're not experiencing our soul. We're experiencing a swarup that's dormant. A swarup that's dormant can be covered by the material energy. So therefore we have no experience of ourself. But when that swarup becomes manifest, that eternal swarup, nothing can cover it because it's made of the powerful swarup shakti. It's an expansion of that same powerful swarup shakti. So it doesn't even know what is Maya. Yes. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Where is the Swarup in its dormant stage and in its manifest stage?
Well, we learn from, thank you, where is the Swarup in the body? We learn from the Gita and Srila Prabhupada's purport to the Gita that life begins from the heart, and the consciousness springs from the heart and spreads throughout the body. And so the soul is situated in the heart, but its consciousness expands throughout the body. All right? Might as well, okay.
Sounds like you're talking, to me, just speaking. What I'm hearing is you're saying, like, the jiva is in the heart. Is that different from the swarup? Like, is the swarup is there in the jiva, or with the jiva, or is it in the spiritual world?
Oh,
dormant,
yes.
dormant in the spiritual world,
Very
or is
good.
it dormant in the
It's
heart?
also, that's a good point for me to come to next. So, the swarup is situated spiritually. When our swarup is manifest, and we can experience our spiritual self, then we can see that we're actually engaged with Krishna in his eternal pastimes in the spiritual world. So that comes to the next point, that there's 2 time factors. Isn't that sounds 2 time factors? So one is there's the eternal time factor, and that's called Nitya Kal, or eternal time. So that time does not have past, present, and future. That time is the eternal present, which is ever fresh and new and expanding, and gets newer and newer at every moment. And yet, it doesn't change past, present, and future. There may be a conception in the spiritual world of past, present, and future. For example, in the evening, the sun goes down, and Mother Yasoda puts Krishna to rest. Radha and Krishna spent the night together on a lotus bed in the forest, and then before sunrise, Vrinda Devi, who is the coordinator, or maybe a better word is choreographer of the pastimes, says, "Okay, deer, come out. Okay, parrots, come out. Okay, peacocks, call out, ke kaha, ke kaha." And then the birds start warning Radharani. It's almost sunrise. And if you don't go home right now, then your parents are going to be looking for you, and it's going to be all over. So there may be a conception. This Bhagavad Gita said, in the spiritual world, there's no sunlight or moonlight or electricity. But there's conceptions of it to enjoy, to enjoy various pastimes. Okay, so 2 time factors. One is the eternal time factor, Nitya Kal. And the other one is called the material time factor, or the linear time factor, which includes past, present, and future. So, for that, okay, I'm given the seed. I never didn't exist, but we have to use mortal language, or we can't even open our mouth. We have to say something with our material language and our material senses, which are all imperfect. So I have to say, at the time, although there's no time, of our creation, Krishna gave us a particular, potency for a particular taste, for a particular relationship. But then we never experienced that. And we travel in different species of life. And as we're going, we pick up spiritual, pious credits. Like, for example, there is a black lizard on one of the couches in the tent in Radharani's garden. So that lizard hears kirtan. So unconsciously, unknowingly, he's picking up credits. Somebody may be a little sloppy while taking prasadam outside. So he drops the prasadam on the couch. And so the lizard eats that prasadam. And so he gets spiritual credits. Maybe somebody is reading out there to his godbrother. And so they're hearing Harikatha and getting spiritual credits. So when enough spiritual credits is accumulated after millions of lives, then that soul meets a spiritual master. And if he has a lot of credits, then he'll be able to easily find a bona fide spiritual master, and he'll be able to easily follow him. If he has less credits from so many lives, and maybe I have like 20 lives of service, and I also committed a lot of offenses, then I would have a harder time finding a guru and being able to follow him than a person who has 100 lives with 0 offenses. Does that make sense? So in material time or linear time, I gradually come to the point of meeting a spiritual master and getting the seed of the creeper of devotional service. And then that discussing the creeper is a whole other class, which we can do in another class. So 2 time factors. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. I have a question for something before. But let me the mustard seed. Because sometimes over the years I can keep going with the class, and it's amazing. But the mustard seed, I'm having a dilemma with, because we say the mustard seed was cut and we chose one side. Now,
The mustard seed was not cut necessarily.
But we chose a side, right?
No.
We chose the material.
Yeah. The
Right.
mustard seed
Half.
doesn't necessarily split. The mustard seed falls onto the sharp blade of the knife, and it bounces off one side or the other.
Okay.
So in the analogy, one side is the spiritual world, one
Right.
side is the material world.
Okay.
If I turn away from Krishna, then the material energy captures me.
Right. So I needed some help. Save
Okay.
it for this. Now, that seems to continually go in my life. So we want to control, right? That's the choice, is I want to be the controller. But even in the seva, I can see the importance of temple life, because in family life, you can subtly abuse your family members and they tolerate you because you're providing or they love you. So if you're too loud and obnoxious or mean, they tolerate you. But once that money or that time is gone, they say, hey, ease back. We can't tolerate you. Then in temple life, while I'm here, I'm trying to be so loving to my brothers. But when I'm in service, my mood is like, to like, I got a quality. And you chastised me once in here, and you said, we brought you here because of your experience, and I want you to be positive and inspire. And I said, well, who said it? And you said, no, I want your inspiration, what you had. You saw the beauty, you said, I want the beauty. And so I've been meditating on that, but I find that I even made a mistake before this class when I'm talking to a brother, and I said, I started to try and control, even under the level of service. And so this, and I corrected it, I begged for forgiveness, we kept going to me. But out of all this association, out of all this time, I don't see that the switch is gonna flip for that. So is it that we can only beg the mercy of the Vaishnavas and the Guru to grab that extra choice? Because on my own impulse, it's so subtle when you're continuing to choose to be Lord rather than to serve. Because the quality's still the same. I'm still able to serve if I'm in that mood of service. But as soon as I slide into that mood of, oh, you needed my help? Okay, and this is what we're gonna do. And they're like, so I'm learning and I'm correcting, but I know, hey, Jagannath, you're not letting go of that seed totally. You're just letting go and using your information, but it's still here. How can I beg other than the tolerance of the temple? I can see temple life is important because they're non-family, and you learn forgiveness and we grow together. Is that, because I'm not going to make it. Like I can see now, after all these practice time, no matter how much I go through emotions, I'm still wanting to be the controller. Help.
Well, I think your problem is common to everybody. Does anybody else, look around, Jagannath, anybody else have that problem? That's why Gurudev explains at the time of initiation that this finger is kept out of the bead bag because it's the lorded over you finger. Don't you realize who I am? I'm going to break your leg if you don't listen to me. So that's why that finger is kept out, to remind us that anger needs to be kept out of our chanting. But we always make that mistake. And so, not always, but sometimes we make that mistake. So your process of overcoming it is the right process. To beg forgiveness, to think. Like I could go either way right at this moment. Am I gonna, which way do I have to go to not regret it afterward? And stop and think. Prabhupada once said, an intelligent person thinks before doing any nonsense. Like scientists don't think. They just say all of their nonsense. And you can go to a person that you trust and ask, okay, this situation is coming up. How should I see it so that I'm not needing to control that other devotee? But I will let it go. And one thing that helps me a lot is when I think of, when it comes to my mind that this other devotee is doing this and that, that's not good, then I think, well, how am I doing? How am I doing in serving our Gurudev? He told me 10 times to learn Hindi. Did I learn it? No. I tried a little bit and then I forgot. No, then I gave up. And what other instructions has he told me to do? He's told me how to chant and be so fully absorbed that I'm weeping and rolling. Do I do that? No. So I immediately turn to myself, and when I do that, I become free from the desire to fix that other devotee. I could just tell him, can I tell you the pastime that I read this morning? Oh, you say that. Can I tell you a verse that I learned this morning? And then the whole atmosphere goes up. No, I'm saying he can do that. He can say that. To invoke another consciousness in both of you. Yes. What?
This is a question and an answer in itself, because these instructions sounds very high class, high level, but we can use these instructions even to deal with everyday's life. And I was thinking of this young lady here who has a young child, and she says to me the other day, "How do you handle? He's running around and so now we're thinking we running around with the mind, but the material plane of existence, even in spiritual life, that same mind that you say, you know, it was easier with your parents, that's not truth. That was then. This is now. If you try again, go back to your family and see how you feel about them. You won't be able to stay there one day. Believe it or not, as much as you think they love you and all. So the same thing in spiritual life. It's a process. It's a practice, whether you have a young child or you have all these services which are very high, posts, like preaching and distributing books, distributing prasadam, serving the deity, serving each and every devotee. But it's a learning process. You don't have to condemn yourself that I am so low that, because it's not like that. It's a daily thing. It's a practice. Just like with the chanting, you go little by little, you get better and you get better. But you got to give yourself some hope, because if all the time I'm so low, I'm so nothing, that I could be a bad person and still, because I'm so low. It's not that. This is a process and it works. It works, but you have to practice. You cannot just say, it doesn't work for me. You're not chanting when you are, like Didi say, chanting is not looking at the phone, looking who came in, who went out. That's not chanting the holy names. So for some of us, it has taken us many years, but we're still longing for more. I've been chanting for nearly 50 years. I still think I don't know how to chant. So if we remain humble, and we are easy with ourselves too, because if you condemn yourself that you go for nothing, yes, we know these things, but we're here for a reason, by the mercy of this Guru Devi. So we're in the right place at the right time, whether we're mothers or students or we just come once a week. But your consciousness has to develop, and the only way, like the other day we were celebrating Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, and I told somebody here, I say, this is an incarnation of God that is so kind that he gives us the chanting of the holy names. It's the only way in this age. You can learn a lot of yoga, and you can practice fasting and self-control. The mind will trick you. This is the only way. Chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name.
Okay, thank you. In other words, what she's saying is, not to focus on where we are and wallow in it, but to focus on where I'm going.
Yes.
Then I can get there. Focus on the GPS. Okay, so I saw some other hands up. Yes. Loud. You need the mic?
Dandavat Guru Devi. Well, I have to read it again. Today in the world, many people are speaking about celebrating women. I was reflecting on this from a spiritual perspective. I learned that we are not this body, not male, not female, but the eternal soul. At the same time, this human birth is already a very rare opportunity. And within that rare opportunity, we are given a particular body with certain qualities. So my question is, why might the soul receive a female body in this life? Beyond the biological function or procreation, are there particular qualities or tendencies of this feminine body that could be especially helpful to cultivate in a spiritual life and service? In other words, since is the body I have been given in this rare human birth, what should I understand or develop through it to serve better?
All right, I'm going to try to repeat what you said. In essence, you asked, why does one person get a female body and another person get a man's body? And then, how can we take full advantage of this particular type of body to perfect ourselves? Did I get those two right?
Correct.
All right. Was there anything that I missed?
No, there are details around, but it's the main
That's
thing.
in essence. Okay. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that if you think of me at the time of death, then you'll attain me. Whatever you think of at the time of death, you attain that state. This is definite. You attain that state without doubt. So why one person gets a lady's form could be different than another person. Like, for example, a sannyasi man can fall in love with a woman and be absorbed in her. And so he may get the body of a woman in his next life. Generally, whatever you think about, that's what happens. Or if you desire it, these days a lot of people desire the opposite kind of body that they have, and they're even taught in school that that's fine. So there's, many reasons why one can have this particular type of body. But then, within that body, well, why did I break my arm in this particular type of body? Why did I get cancer in this particular body? It's all because of past activities. So similarly, I have this lady's body because of past activities. And what do I do with it? I understand that I don't want a material body anymore. It's just pus, blood, stool, and urine. And it doesn't make the soul happy. What makes the soul happy is, because it was asked in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the beginning, what makes the soul happy? Do you remember? Louder? Savai, I'll help you to make it louder. Savai pungsam paro dharmo jato bhaktir hoksaje ahoitaki apritihata jayatma suprasidati. So, to the perfection, sarva pungsam, of humankind, the greatest dharma of humankind is to engage in the service of the Lord, who is transcendental to the material nature, adhoksaja. This service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to fully, in order to fully satisfy the self. So that whether you have a broken arm, or you're very healthy, or you have 3 jobs, or you have no jobs, whatever situation you're in, don't think about the present situation, but think about the goal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, it's already getting late. I just wanted to mention one additional thing. How many people here get worried about the world situation and all the wars going on? And then, that's it?
Well, I feel like worrying about it at our stage and level in
it's not going to happen on our level. We can worry about it and all get together and pray about it. But whatever they want to do on their high horses, they're going to do it anyway.
Right. So, is it Susan or Suzanne?
Suzanne, and I feel it's an additional, I mean, it can be part of your prayer practice and wish that this would not be happening, but it's already designed and designated to have the world be this way.
All right, I think she's finished. I'll just repeat her. So even if we worry about something in the world, it's out of our control. It's not going to be changed. So I just wanted to say a note. Like in the past 2 days, I was in a car, and I was looking ahead at the horizon. Both days one day there was the Bay of Biscayne on one side. It was pretty open. And another day there were big buildings. And on both days, I was looking at the sky and envisioning an atom bomb. At any day in Miami, an atom bomb can come because it's so crazy. They're shooting everywhere. They're bombing everywhere, in girls' schools and just in countries that have nothing to do with them. So, and the other day we were reading, and it's right, it's a waste of time to worry about it.
Well, I feel guilty in a way because I should be worried about it. All of humanity should be worried about it. You see the monks that did the walk for peace, but and I feel guilty about selfish.
No, it doesn't, you're absolutely right, it doesn't change it. We do, devotees or anybody's supposed to be compassionate, but as you said, it doesn't change it. To be compassionate is good. But what we wanted to share today was that all these enmities between one country and another is designed by Krishna himself. It doesn't mean that Krishna is mean and you could say that Krishna is the cause of the children's school being bombed and 130 kids died. But here's how it works. First I'll give you Srila Prabhupada's words in a lecture when I was with him in New York in the 70s, and then something from his Srimad Bhagavatam purport. Prabhupada said in the class that Krishna gets all the sinful demons together and engages them in mass, because he has a Bengali English accent, in mass massacre. Means wars. Krishna here in the purport to first canto, he said the fighting between the two warring sides in the Battle of Kurukshetra was the wind causing the friction between the bamboos, and so it sparks a fire. The wind is really the cause, and it makes the bamboos rubbing into each other, and that creates a friction, and that sparks the fire. So that wind is Krishna, and the reason is because both sides have to suffer, not from each other, but from their past activities, like meat eating, illicit sex, abortion, stepping on ants, some simple things, intoxication, right? And then, or eating babies. So many things go on in the world. Kidnapping children. In China, they eat cats and dogs and snakes. No, it's real. And so there has to be reaction, and it takes various forms. It may take one person getting killed in a car accident, or it may take the mass massacre of a war. But Krishna creates the enmity as a instrument for the sinful demons to suffer. Yes.
I think I was reading.
How come you come so late all the time? Once a week, can't you organize your schedule to come earlier? Huh?
I believe that this was in.
But I just want to get an answer from him. Yeah, you have to. It's your only time here. So, and so many important things were discussed and you missed them. I hope that you'll hear the replay. It's for your benefit. Okay, thanks.
So I believe I was reading A Place of Sandalwood and Roses by Govinda Dasi, and it was like the first couple of times her and her husband had gone to the temple, and Prabhupada was talking to his devotees, and somebody in the class or session was like, what about the war, the Vietnam War? Because this, around the same time frame, like, we don't want to get drafted. What do you think about the war? And he goes, well, he said something like, we kill animals, there's slaughterhouses, and he's saying it's the equivalent. So I think he was alluding to we're mostly paying our dues from eating living innocent beings.
Exactly, yes.
Like he emphasized that one in particular, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly.
Yes, karmic
it.
repercussions.
Exactly. Like if cows are being killed, we don't like that, but Gurudev said when he was in Italy, he saw little calves being taken away and killed, and so he said, I thought this was a religious place where the Pope is, but the Pope is having these little calves prepared so that he can have a big dinner. So he said, I wanted to leave this place immediately. But then I remembered that who were these cows that are being killed? They were people in their last lives, and they were killing the cows. So it's tit for tat. As you sow, so shall you reap. Mike.
Hare Krishna. Also, the underline to all the things that are happening in the world is that we're in the age of Kali Yuga, so it's kind of like to be expected, and we're only in the beginning, and it's always
That's
been there. And
amazing.
Yeah.
That we're only in the beginning of Kali Yuga, which began 5,000 years ago. There's 432 years left.
How many left?
Well, it started 5,000 years ago, and there's 427,000 years left. And later on, if somebody lives for 30 years, he'll be considered a ripe old man. And then there's going to be more eating of people. And then there's always the hellish planets, where if you do sinful activities on this earth, then you may go to the planet of Rorava, where you become a worm and you eat other worms and other worms eat you. You can see there's a description of at least 20 hellish planets. So it's all karma. But that's why we want to do as much Harinam as possible, as much book distribution as possible, as much classes as possible. Like Gadagaja Prabhu, this morning he already did a Srimad Bhagavatam class. He had some students. He's trying hard to get more students, telling his students to bring their friends. And when we meet people and get names, we want to call them. Sometimes somebody comes 3 or 4 times and they're so enthusiastic and they weep and then you never see them again. So Maya is calling them. It's important that we call them too. Okay, let's end here unless there's an urgent one. Okay, so let's end here and let's do kirtan to give us strength. to fight Maya and to help others fight Maya. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Okay, who's leading? Huh? Oh, Dhankar, yes. Divakar Prabhu, I don't like to be late, but I'm so glad I was late today so I could hear your kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prahlada Jai Jai, Nrisimha Jai Jai. 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Jaya Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Shri Shri Radharama Bhikari Ji ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Shri Vrindavan ki jai, Shri Navadvip Dham ki jai, Shri Harina Sankirtan Yagya ki jai, Shri Guru Parampara ki jai, Shima Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimati Guru Mata ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari 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 Bol.